Everybody, if you were ever a fan of the Andy Griffith Show, you might appreciate where I'm at this morning. Stay tuned. Good morning, everybody. Today is the 22nd of February, 2021. This is Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I am in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and this is Andy Griffith's hometown. And also, if you're a fan of either the Andy Griffith Show or the Mayberry RFD, which was afterwards, then you'll appreciate Mount Airy. A lot of the people said a lot of the inspiration that Andy Griffith got for Mayberry, he got here in his hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina. There's even an Andy Griffith Museum here. They have Mayberry days here. If you go into the truck stop, you can buy Mayberry stuff. You can get Aunt B's cookbook. You can get all sorts of stuff like that. And supposedly, what I was reading is that you can do a tour of the town, and they'll take you past different things that look familiar or that inspired the Andy Griffith Show in Mayberry. Somebody built even a Floyd's barbershop that you can go check out. But the tours are actually in the same car and the same type of car and as the police car in the Andy Griffith Show. So just a fun little fact. Anyway, I finally gonna get out of the cold a little bit, even though it's only 33 degrees outside this morning. I am headed to Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to we got a delivery. We don't have an appointment time right now. One of the things, because of all the weather, and now that the country's starting to thaw out, freight's having to catch up. Stuff that had to sit because there was no way to get it to where it needed to go, or where people were stuck or whatever. Now it's got to get there, and most of it's running late. This load originally was supposed to be there this morning at 8:30. Ain't gonna get there. I got still more than 500 miles to go to get there, but we'll get it there hopefully for the morning. We could do it late today, but it's sort of iffy. I'm waiting for them to give me an updated appointment time for this. But we are heading to Florida. It's supposed to be right around 70 degrees, so I'm excited about that, especially if you've been following me. I came from some weather in the last 2 weeks that was the wind chill was in the minus 30 plus range in that area, and just the regular temperature was minus 17. So trying to enjoy getting a little bit warmer, but it goes back to having to be prepared. You have to be prepared on your truck. I think I've talked about this before, but as winter starts to set in, you got to winterize your truck, and what I mean by that is not just like you would a car, where you're making sure that your antifreeze is there, and maybe you have some snow tires or some winter wipers or low temperature washer fluid, all that kind of stuff like that. But when I talk about winterizing the truck, you're talking about a few added things. Most trucks, if you're running interstate, you need to have chains on it. Doesn't mean you're going to chain up your truck, but you are required going through certain states to have chains, so you got to have them on your truck, and or you can't run through there during certain times of the year. And making sure that you have cold weather gear. Maybe you have some extra blankets, you have a heavy jacket, gloves, snow, boots that are good in the snow, that kind of stuff. Extra food, non-perishable food. You get stuck. Some of these people that got stuck, in certain parts of the country, they, I think down in Texas, they were sitting on an interstate for a couple days, from what I read. Now, so there's no, going somewhere else and coming back and go grabbing food. Everything's shut down, so you got to have it on your truck. Making sure that you have enough fuel all the time, especially when you're going through cold areas where you may run into some weather. Making sure that you have the fuel. One other thing that was out there is some people that got stuck in my home state in New Mexico, right around the eastern part of the state, Santa Rosa and Tucumcari. They were running out of fuel, and there was no fuel available for them to fuel. Well, if you don't have fuel, you can't keep your truck warm. If you can't keep your truck warm, you're in a world of hurt. So anyway, a lot of things like that, and there's a bunch of other things, but you do need to winterize your truck. So when they start to talk to you about that and getting ready for that, you need to be ready. You need to be ready, because you never know what you're going to run into. Nobody that, I want to say very few people that were running through Texas, especially through Dallas and South Texas, thought, oh, we got to be ready for snow. Well, guess what? You need to be ready for a lot of snow and a lot of freezing and that kind of stuff. So anyway, best to be ready, best to be prepared and ready to go. Now, that said, it's great when I can get out of the cold and into the warm. So that's why when they offered me this load to Florida, I was like, absolutely. So we're going to get it down there. We're going to get running here in a few minutes and go from there. Get ready to head towards home time. After this load, they should be starting to work me towards New Mexico, spend a couple days over there, and then get back out running. So looking forward to it, and we'll see where we go from there. Hope you guys are staying safe out there. I hope if you were disrupted by the weather, like so many people were, that your life starts to return to normal, and that you can get out there and get back with your life and get back going as for what it is. Still having to deal with the COVID. So, guys, sorry about that. Had to cut away. I'd set a timer. I know I haven't done a tour of my truck, but and I will do that to show you what I've got on board. But just to let you know, I have 2 Amazon Echoes on board. One I have on the dash that I use for. I use it to find out information about stuff as I'm passing it, and I see it, and I see all these signs or I see things that are interesting. I'll just ask it questions, or I have a list of stuff I want to research. As I see it, I'm like, I want to research that. Tell me, add it to my research list. Or if I remember that I need to get something done on my truck or something that I need to buy or whatever, I use that for that. And I also use it to play music. I have Amazon Music Unlimited, and I play music. My playlist, I have it Bluetooth connected to my stereo when I do that, and I get to listen to music that way. So one of the few different ways that I have besides Sirius XM and just regular radio and stuff like that. And then I have an Echo Show, which is the Echo that has a screen and has a clock on it. I use that back in my bunk area, and I use that to set timers for different things, whether it's when I shut down at the end of the night or at the end of a run, and I know that I want to run as soon as my 10's up. I'll have it set a timer for 8.5 hours to wake me up so I can get up and get moving or whatever, and then I set a second timer for 10 hours and 1 minute. And the reason why I say 10 hours and 1 minute is because most of the ELDs, the electronic logging devices, they run by seconds, so sometimes you think you're done with the break or whatever, and you're not exactly done. And if you're not paying attention, you can come off your break too early and screw up a 10-hour break. So I know a lot of people who've done that. I'll be honest with you, I've done it once. I don't want to ever do it again, because then you got to sit there and take another 10-hour break. So that doesn't work too good. But that's why 10 hours and 1 minute. So that way I'm 100% sure that I'm done with the 10-hour break. So and then I can get running. So I use it for that kind of stuff. But it's neat to have. It's nice to have, and they're connected to the Wi-Fi I have on my truck. The Wi-Fi I have on my truck, I pay for. It's not through the company. It's not through through PeopleNet or anything that's connected to the truck. I just have a different Wi-Fi hotspot. So, but for me, it's a necessity. So, anyway. Hope you guys have a great one. Hope you guys are thawing out, as I said, and stay safe. And we'll talk to you again soon. This is Rick, also known as Duke City Double Dog. I am in Mount Airy, North Carolina, and I'm driving for Crete Carrier Corporation, and I'm psyched. You guys have a great one. We will talk to you later.